giving away all of these fantastic Eleanor Bowmer goodies, so watch till the end of the video to find out how you can win them, and also how to make this fantastic cactus cake. Right, I've got my perfect vanilla sponge cake here, which I've crumb coated and chilled. So now I'm gonna decorate, and I've decided I'm gonna go for cactus theme. This is gonna be brilliant. I'm kind of actually making this up as I go along, full disclosure. So I'm just gonna go over with a nice coat of regular vanilla buttercream. I'm gonna create kind of like a scene for my cacti, and I'm going to add some colours on top of this buttercream base. This is basically what they call in the trade a watercolour effect, but I'm going to be using it to get like a nice sort of like sandy base and then do a gorgeous blue sky with a little bit of pink in it, just because I love Eleanor's design. She used loads of colour and I just think this will look really, really cool. So I'm just using a medium crank handle palette knife to spread this over. And just using that sort of like pressure, backwards and forwards motion, which I shall demonstrate. So if you go backwards and forwards like that, what happens is it smooths out the coating and also it gets rid of the odd air bubble. So I'm kind of like just keeping it close against the cake using quite a firm pressure. I'm not going to smooth it off too much because the final smoothing is going to happen once the colours go on. So I've got some lovely yellow buttercream, which I'm going to put around the bottom. To do a watercolour effect, what you essentially do is splat loads of different colours onto the cake, and then we'll sort of swoop it round, which will then kind of seam it in. It's quite important to have all of your buttercreams at the same consistency, so give it a good stir before you start, and work quickly, because once you've got the white on there, you want to kind of get all the other colours on, otherwise it can start to kind of skin over and set. So I'm going to put a little bit more white now, just to kind of bring it out to about the same depth as the yellow. Bit of blue for the sky. So I'm kind of leaving some gaps because obviously that's being the clouds. I want to add a tiny bit of pink into the sky, but I'm going to do that after I've done the first coat because I don't want it to go purple. I'm just going to literally add in some flecks of that, because with the watercolour effect you can kind of go around with your scraper like a couple of times. So on the top. Look at that effect. Isn't that beautiful? I love doing this. How many times do I say I love doing something when I'm doing cake decorating? Where's my cloth? Right, so yeah, keep a damp, clean cloth as well to the side, just because you don't want to have like all the colours on your palette knife once you're going back onto the cake again. So just make sure you do keep them clean. So I'm just holding my tool, palette knife against the cake and just sort of sweeping across. See? Really nice. I'm going to go around once more on this side. It's just really lovely because it kind of looks quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Would I say it looks ethereal? So that's looking really good. It's almost finished. I'm actually going to go round to do the perfect kind of final finish with a cake scraper, just because it's going to make it really nice and sharp and neat. So I'm just going to add a little bit of pink. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. So pink sky at night, shepherd's delight. This means it's going to be a lovely day the next day with it. It's got a bit of pink sky.
Thank you.
That's okay. So just a little bit into there. Blob, blob. Not too much. Just a little bit. I mean, just imagine this for like an under the sea cake, just all different shades of blue and green. Or you could do like a jungle effect. You could do princessy effects, rainbow effect, unicorns. Right, I'm gonna leave it at that. Less is more. Clean palette knife over the top. That's it. I'm just going around with this before I do the tool one, just to neaten off the top. So I'm going to use this. Now, a top tip for you, when you're doing a final kind of swoosh on your cake, it's a really good idea to run your cake scraper under a hot tap so it's nice and warm and also slightly damp, and that's just going to give you the cleanest finish. So off I go to my sink. Damp and warm. Round we go. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Look at that. That is like a perfect sky with a little bit of pink. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put this onto my cake stand shortly, and I'm going to add some biscuit for a bit of sand effect. So before I do that, I'm going to press a tiny few bits of biscuits just into my yellow base, just to kind of give that sort of like sandy texture. Can we hear the dog snoring from in here?
Yeah.
Bless him. Gently press into the side so that when I pipe my cactuses, it's got a bit of a flat surface for the piping. It won't be lumpy and bumpy. That's done. It needs to be lifted off and going onto the cake stand. So I just need to pop it in the freezer for like 10 minutes just so that can skin over. I'll clear up and then we'll come back and we'll add on those cactuses. So it's on its lovely Eleanor Bowmer stand, and I'm going to put some sand all around the base. When I say sand, it's biscuit. Obviously, it wouldn't be very nice if it was real sand. It's just a nice way to kind of add a bit of extra sort of, what's the word? Extra sand. Right, so for my cactuses, I'm using fine tooth nozzles. I've got a few different sizes and I've got a few different shades. You do have to whistle when you pipe it, obviously. So with the fine tooth nozzle, it just really has got that cactus design. Let's just do one sort of pipe out there. Cute! Sometimes when you've got something kind of crumbly or textural, it's quite tricky because it won't stick to the base or the cake. But now I've just removed those biscuits, so I'll just go back over that. They look cute, don't they? So you can kind of like do them fatter or thinner. So I'm piping that one a bit slower and using a bit of a firmer pressure to kind of get a wider girth on the cactus there, you see? We're doing this, what I really need to be doing is face on, but don't worry, we don't mind the odd wonky one, do we? He can be at the back. It's really cool. Do you know what I can do? I can leave my piping bags on this handy spoon rest to stop me having buttercream all over the surface. Look at that. That's good, isn't it? I think that just looks, so you've got the sort of like depth of like the desert and then the kind of like horizon and then the lovely sky. I think that's probably enough cactuses. So now I'm going to add the little white dots and the flowers. Look at it, I just absolutely love it. I think I've definitely nailed the cactus brief there. And now the final bit to eat and enjoy it. Isn't it lovely? Such a delicious party cake. And I'll get all 3 layers. Bosh, 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 bosh. So this is from the Electric Coast collection. If you want to win this and all these lovely bits, but obviously not the cake, then just comment below what party cake would you make and I'll pick a winner at random from the comments. Oh, don't forget to subscribe to find out when the winner's announced. Bye.